U.S. officials have declared a public health emergency in response to the devastating California wildfires, which have caused widespread destruction and deteriorated air quality. Health officials are urging residents to take precautions, especially in areas with heavy smoke or visible ash. For those who must spend extended periods outdoors in affected areas, wearing N95 or P100 masks is strongly recommended to reduce exposure to harmful particles. The declaration highlights the dual challenges of managing the immediate wildfire crisis while addressing the ongoing public health risks posed by poor air quality and hazardous conditions which spread far beyond the fire itself. The political debate over the Los Angeles wildfires began almost immediately after the fires started and has only intensified. Disgraced former President Trump, who is set to begin his second term on January 20, referenced his earlier criticism of California's forest management. In 2018, Trump accused state leaders of gross mismanagement after wildfires devastated communities like Malibu and Paradise, which he called Pleasure, insisting that the state wasn't sweeping the floors of the forests.
I mean, as big as they look on the tube, you don't see what's going on until you come here. And what we saw at Pleasure, what a name right now. But what we just saw, we just left Pleasure.
Paradise.
For Paradise.
At the time, Gavin Newsom defended California's wildfire prevention measures while rebuking the federal government for insufficient support. "You don't believe in climate change. You are excused from this conversation," Newsom posted in relation to Trump's comments. Trump recently renewed his criticisms, falsely accusing California's Democratic leadership of prioritizing environmental policies such as water conservation efforts and the protection of fish over effective fire prevention measures. Despite these past disputes, Gavin Newsom sought to focus on unity during the current crisis. On Friday, he invited Trump to visit affected areas, meet with first responders, and connect with Americans impacted by the devastation. "In the spirit of this great country, we must not politicize human tragedy or spread disinformation," Newsom wrote in a letter to Trump. "Hundreds of thousands of Americans displaced from their homes deserve to see us working together to ensure a swift recovery and rebuild." Meanwhile, Donald Trump's boyfriend and supposed climate activist, after his success in making EVs mainstream, Elon Musk, has sparked outrage by blaming the wildfire catastrophe, which has claimed at least 11 lives and destroyed more than 12,000 structures, on minorities, diversity initiatives, and a variety of other scapegoats. Musk's commentary, however, notably excludes any mention of the climate crisis, a key factor that experts widely agree is exacerbating the frequency and intensity of wildfires. Musk's remarks, including inflammatory claims about diversity, equity, and inclusion policies, have drawn criticism for deflecting attention from the systemic and environmental issues fueling these disasters. By focusing on divisive rhetoric, critics argue that Musk and other right-wing figures are detracting from meaningful conversations about climate change, disaster preparedness, and long-term solutions to mitigate wildfire risks. As communities reel from the devastation, the need for collaborative action and evidence-based solutions has never been more urgent. However, the ongoing politicization of the tragedy risks hindering progress and perpetuating harmful narratives. On Wednesday, Elon Musk made a controversial claim about the Los Angeles Fire Department. He alleged the LAFD prioritized DEI over saving lives and homes. For days, he's continued to post inflammatory remarks, including assertions like DEI means people die, and insinuations that the outcome of the firefighting efforts would have been different if the fire chief weren't a woman. Musk's comments have fueled a broader narrative among right-wing figures who have attempted to tie the wildfires to so-called wokeness. Donald Trump Jr., for instance, joined the fray with sarcastic remarks about DEI policies. Meanwhile, conservative actor James Woods and former Fox News host Megyn Kelly have criticized the fire department for promoting diversity, falsely suggesting such initiatives undermine operational efficiency. Even mainstream commentators like CNN contributor Scott Jennings have entered the debate, attributing the wildfire severity to DEI-related policies, further amplifying the politicization of the crisis. The push to link diversity initiatives to wildfire response has been widely criticized as a distraction from the underlying causes of these disasters, such as climate change, forestry management, and urban planning challenges. Critics argue that such rhetoric not only undermines the morale of first responders, but also diverts attention from urgent efforts to address the devastation caused by the fires. President Joe Biden, in his final days in office, has already approved a major disaster declaration for Southern California. This approval commits the federal government to cover fire management and debris removal costs for 6 months. However, future federal aid will soon be determined by Trump and a Republican-led regime. Gavin Newsom expressed gratitude for Biden's support, calling it a strong indication of the partnership California needs and appreciates with any federal administration. But he also emphasized the ongoing danger, with winds of up to 70 miles per hour expected in the coming days, combined with persistently dry conditions that continue to pose a severe threat to lives and property. The Earth is reeling from the existential crisis of climate change, a phenomenon driving stronger storms, bigger disasters, and greater destruction. Despite the evidence, lawmakers and leaders around the globe have yet to summon the collective will needed to confront this escalating threat. The reality is stark. The Earth's natural systems have been disrupted by an atmosphere burdened with greenhouse gases. This imbalance won't be corrected through political squabbling. Addressing it demands a foundational step, acknowledging and understanding the science. Only then can we craft policies and implement measures that reduce the likelihood of future crises and mitigate the devastation when they inevitably occur. Decades of research have shown that climate change fuels wildfires. Rising temperatures exacerbate droughts, dry out vegetation, and intensify lightning storms, all of which contribute to increasingly uncontrollable blazes. In a warming world, wildfires are no longer an anomaly, but a predictable consequence of human-driven environmental change. Addressing this crisis requires not just action, but a unified commitment to a sustainable future, one that prioritizes science, resilience, and the shared responsibility to heal a planet pushed to its limits. Electing a climate change, science, and health denier to the office of president will literally kill Americans through the purposeful politicization of public health and safety information. In the coming months, Trump will once again remove the U.S. from the Paris Climate Accord and will likely deny California the federal aid it needs because, as a state, it didn't unilaterally vote for him. The very definition of despotism. I'm Anthony Davis. You can find me on the 5 Minute News YouTube channel and podcast, on Wednesdays co-hosting Uncovered, and on Sunday on The Weekend Show with MeidasTouch.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Midas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.